6-7 minutes long. I want to touch on a video that I saw on policeactivity.com. I'll leave the link in the description box below. This is an incident that originates in Chino, California. Chino, California is a suburb that is near, for those of you who are not in California, somewhere near Ontario. It's in the Inland Empire, Riverside, California, somewhere in that area. Maybe, I don't know, 47-mile drive from Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles. Anyhow, what you have is a domestic violence suspect. The officer challenges him and tells him to drop the knife. He refuses to drop the knife, and an officer-involved shooting occurs. You see the officer point his gun at the suspect, and it looks like he may have canted the weapon. Canting, maybe angling it like this. Maybe not. It's difficult to tell because of the camera angle. Sometimes when you mount these Axon cameras, some officers mount them in a way that makes it look crooked. So I don't know if it's the angle. I don't know if he's holding it, the camera angle. I don't know if he's holding it in a different way. All we know is that he had some type of stoppage, perhaps some type of malfunction. And man, that is catastrophic. So you have a guy with a knife charging at you. And guys, this is probably a suicide by cop mission. I mean, if this guy really wanted to, he would charge the officer, or he could charge the officer with the knife, very easily closing the distance. The camera perspective on the taser cameras, taser Axon cameras, you basically want to zoom in. If you zoom in 200% closer, like at 2x, sometimes 3x, then that will show you how close you are to this person. So I don't know if you guys seen Jurassic Park Part 1. I'm probably dating myself, but you see Tyrannosaurus Rex running after the Jeep, and the driver looks in the mirror, and it says something to the effect, the mirror says something to the effect of, objects appear closer than what they are, or objects are closer than what they appear, something to that effect. That's probably what's happening in this circumstance. So what I will say this is that I think that all these techniques that you use during an OIS or during an incident, they should not be tested out in a real life situation. Test them out at the range and see if they work. I constantly see officers adding magazine extensions. Like depending on where you are in the world, they already have like they already have 17 or 15 rounds, and they feel the need to throw on a Taran Tactical +1 or +2 magazine extension. I have no problem with that, but every extension that I've seen during my courses of fire, they've all malfunctioned. There's two guys, they want to throw on their Taran Tactical or their Glock Store magazine extensions. Both of them had continuous malfunctions with the magazine extension. I threw on my Taran Tactical, and again, I've had some stoppages as well. I just don't think that real life situations is when you should be testing the equipment. Guys, especially for Glock, I don't know if this is a Glock. I don't know if this was Smith & Wesson, the M&P series. I don't know, but these weapons, the manufacturer of these weapons, they design in such a way that only their parts are supposed to work. I know that we watch a lot of video, social media, and you can throw on all kinds of aftermarket parts. But if something is an OEM, then it hasn't been tested by the manufacturer. I mean, there are some strict tolerances when it comes down to weapons. The manufacturers have these strict tolerances. You throw in these aftermarket parts, and not only do you void the warranty, but also you're taking a chance of that product not working. I mean, okay, let's just talk about the Glock enhanced triggers, right? Performance triggers. If you buy it directly from Glock and you have a certified like professional, an armorer, somebody that knows what they're doing, install it, I don't see an issue with that because it's an OEM part, and Glock authorizes their armors. So you take armorer class, you are a certified armorer, And Mr. Glock, may he rest in peace, he wants you to put on your business card Glock armor. I don't do that with my business. I don't even have a business card, but I don't do that. Do you think that these performance trigger manufacturers, that they spend tens of thousands of dollars, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars on testing out their products, making sure their tolerances are to specifications? That's the question I want to ask you guys. And if the answer is manufacturer is that, they don't spend the money, you guys. It takes away from their it adds to their operating cost. It just doesn't make any sense. And then some people will put on these like bling bling looking stuff, like add-ons, a gold barrel, a different slide catch, a magazine release, you name it. Like they'll just keep adding like colorful designs to your gun to make it more appealable. And I get it, I understand. I've done that to maybe one of my guns. But in doing so, I induced my own malfunctions. Or I created my own malfunctions. So for example, I had slide cuts, right? Again, I wanted it to look like it came from a magazine, a website, and I put these performance cuts just to make it look nicer. And in the end, I had to change my spring on one of my guns, the recoil spring, because now you have a slide that's significantly lighter. And when you start messing with weight, you start messing with the design of the pistol, and it could possibly malfunction. Now, some of you are saying, well, I add all kinds of mods to my gun, and I have no problem. That's fine. That's fine. Is how many rounds have you fired, and under what circumstances, what types of courses of fire have you put yourself through? I mean, have you extensively tested this? And what I'm talking about it is, do you just go to the range and just fire 10 rounds or a box of 50 and then you're good with that? Or do you go over there, fire 500 or 1,000? Or do you attend a class and run your gun through the whole class? Because I've tried to do that with one of the guns that I did mods to, and I almost had to rent a gun from the range because of the numerous malfunctions that I probably caused. So once again, the time to test out your different tactic skills, it's on a flat range. It's not in a real life situation. And the time to test out your mods, again, is not in a real life situation. Now, this officer in Chino, again, I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know who he is, and I can't ask him what happened. I'm not putting blame on him. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the department armorer did something to the gun. Maybe he malfunctioned. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, could it be a dirty extractor? Possibly. I just feel that, and actually know that a lot of law enforcement officers, they don't put a lot of the time and effort it takes to be proficient. So that's probably a newer gun. I just don't see a department setting off Glock 17s or Glock 22s and getting them milled. That gun they probably had is most likely Glock 45 or Glock 47. Very likely. I just don't see the Glock 17s having those slide cuts. I'm sorry, the optic cuts. So that puts the gun just a couple of years old, right? I just don't see officers using their guns so much that they're going to create a lot of debris or cause a lot of debris to solidify, or what's the word I'm looking for? To cake in their extractor, right? The extractor claw. I just don't see that happening, but it could. Now I went through, I went through about 28, maybe 30 different Glocks, because where I work at, I'm the department armorer. Installed a bunch of Glock plates. I had a bunch of officers test out their guns, and out of the about 20 or 30 of them, one actually malfunctioned, and I actually had to change the extractor. The gun is extracting perfectly now, and that was a Glock 19. So yes, there are some duds sometimes. Let's go through the comments real quick. Mr. Fusion says this should apply to body armor as well. There are guys putting enemy stickers on the armor. Absolutely. Thank you for mentioning that. Mr. Fusion says, do you find the Glocks jam less than any other firearm? That's a topic of another story, actually. I mean, we mostly see Glocks out there, but I don't know. I see 1911s malfunctioning the most. Brian says, when working a job exposed with full kit, can the armed guard leave the property? They are working, for example, going across the street for food in full kit. I talked about this in another video, and it just depends on where you're located. If it's California, that's a gray area that we touched on. Because remember, across the street isn't going to or from work. But there are some gray areas. Check out my video on that topic. And I think, geez, I mean, I have over like 1,100 videos. I think that the title of that video is something, can armed security go to lunch off-site or something like that. All right, guys, I'm out. Looking forward